I always took cash into the strip club and put the credit card in my sock so that they could never get it.
Good idea.
Could never come out.
Yeah, well, shit.
You know?
Great.
You ever smelled a sock credit card?
Mm-hmm. Welcome back to Rabbit Troop Sucks. We're a podcast about obscure, forgotten about, and often overlooked things.
We can trim some of that out. Yeah.
We can never unhear it, Collin.
Okay.
As always, as Rabbit Troop Sucks, this podcast, I'm your host, Paul. Next to me is host Mike.
Yo.
There's Lamar.
Hello.
There's Jeremy.
Sorry, guys.
And there's Collin.
Not sorry.
And yeah, we're talking about a lot of weird credit card things and, you know, certain things. And really, we're going to be looking at Blast from the Past from 1999, a Valentine's Day episode special, Guy-entine's Day. I told you guys, it just flows right.
You got to stop saying that.
Guy-entine's Day?
No one knows, Jeremy.
Jeremy, everyone knows Guy-entine's Day.
Not Palentine's Day.
What is that?
I don't know.
Guy-entine's
Sorry.
Day.
I don't
Is that
know if
like
I
what they
that.
call it up in Canada? Hey, guy.
Hey, guy.
Guy-entine's.
I don't know. I like free Palentine.
Wow.
Yeah, take that, motherfucker.
It's, you know, it's just a couple of guys drinking mimosas. I was talking to Nemo via text the other day, and she was unable to make it. But I was like, you know, it's just a couple of guys drinking mimosas, talking about Guy-entine's Day.
Is she still keeping up to date on serial killers?
Absolutely, and she'll be here soon
Nice.
to lament Guy-entine's Day and the candies we had and the memories we made, the palentines we forged. I gotta go.
I don't know what to say about that.
The pals he made along the way.
They're dead.
That's not very cheery.
No.
No.
Yeah. You know, once I had love, and it was a gas, soon turned out to be a pain in the ass. Blondie, Deborah Harry, she knew.
Now that's a blast from the past.
Wow.
There's a lot of truth in those words.
I still want to go.
It's too late. You're already knee deep in.
Could you Weekend and Bernie's me through this? Pull the puppet
You want
strings.
us to kill you?
Kill you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Push you around in a wheelchair for an hour and a half.
I need to be like strings pulled.
Yeah. It's just going to turn into like an hour of moving your hands for Jeremy's benefit.
That's I don't know what you're talking about.
Can we do a
Okay.
slow-mo one? Like,
Sure. I know you can't see this, listeners, but Jeremy was voguing.
It was a vote.
right.
Popular in the 80s.
right. What would they call that in the 40s, though?
Very, very notable artist, Madonna. One of Jeremy's favorites.
Madonna? Madonna? There goes Paul.
I don't have words.
Hey, is this our first Christopher Walken movie? Sea Walk?
You know what? I think it might be. Like if it is not, he must have not been anything but a bit part in something.
Yeah.
But I can't think of any film that we have done that did have him. So I think yes. First Brendon
There you
Fraser.
go.
Yeah.
First
Sea Walk.
For Sea Walk.
Yeah, Brendon Fraser and just cameo appearances in movies we've done before.
Yeah,
Sea-Cam?
we had him in Son-in-Law.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Nice. Good call.
Yeah,
Good call.
like that was very brief.
I mean,
but-
that was
yeah.
literally honestly 5 seconds of a film, and he had 0 lines.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, Brendon Fraser, no other films. Yeah, I don't think Christopher Walken has been in any other films we've done.
If
There you
I
go.
feel like if he were, we would have talked about it more.
No, I
Yeah.
just think like having Gabe on the show was like almost like having Christopher Walken.
That's true.
Man, he would love hearing.
Yeah. I'm sure he's a listener.
He is.
Yeah.
His pants are off.
Gabe or Christopher Walken?
Both.
Yeah.
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 Christopher Walken can't figure out how to get him back on. Is that bad? Oh, well.
I gotta go. It's been a good Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's.
Hope everyone's enjoyed it. If you don't have anywhere else to go, just find it at a bar. Get your boom boom back. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh man, do you think people are just getting fucking like chocolate drunk out there tonight?
Oh
I
yeah,
wish I was.
you can. There's still time.
You had your chance. Let's keep it going. Let's speed it up.
Mike, what does that mean for you?
The chocolate's inside of them.
I mean, if I had an espresso martini or something right now, and I was at a bar,
I mean, you could make those things happen.
I mean, well, if you guys would fucking wrap this up, I could get out of here and go to a bar.
Well, what do you want from us? I don't know. After all the mimosas you've had,
That's true. I'm pretty silly on mimosas.
On a chocolate espresso.
All the fun you need is right here.
I don't want to forget this and go too far into this, and we'll
Yeah.
clearly talk about Valentine's Day, but a naive man comes out into the world after spending 35 years in a nuclear fallout shelter. Blast from the past, 1999. Boom.
Nuclear? It's pronounced
Probably.
nuclear.
The nuclear family.
The
That's what they
nuclear-
created down there in that bunker.
The
that's true.
nuclear weapon.
Yes, I can hear you, Clem Fandango.
Clem Fandango. Jeremy, I can't remember. You had not seen this film?
No, this is the
Okay.
first time.
All right, 1999. Did you watch this alone?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Watching a bomb shelter.
Did you wake up in a box? There is no heaven.
Yeah, it was a green box.
Hey, bro.
Well, Germany's my first time too.
You know,
I
I
can't-
want to say right off the bat, though, that I am not, like, romantic comedies don't really do it for me. I don't know why. They should. I mean,
Is
but they don't.
this kind of where you're leading us to your views of this film?
No, not really.
Okay, that's awesome because I overall don't gravitate towards a lot of like rom-coms, and I did select this one, and I thought for Valentine's Day, I
Yeah.
clearly have a bias. I had fun with this film. There's a lot of elements that bring this film together for me, and a lot of it is Christopher Walken, fallout shelters, various other things. There's a lot of like goofy comedy. Dave Foley, I love all throughout this film. Everyone, Kids in the Hall fans, come on. So Lamar had also not seen this, and Collin said, I mean, now that we've rewatched it, do you feel you've seen
I've
all of it?
definitely seen this, yeah.
So Collin, me, Mike, we have seen this. Yeah, I overall like this film. But before I go into this, I can't remember if I said this on air last year, so sorry if I'm repeating myself and people are like, I'm tuning out. Like, this is it. Like, this is the final straw. But I remember in, I want to say it was junior high. I want to say it was 8th
Final
grade.
straw.
The people that have stuck this long are not leaving.
Yeah, they're just like, I'm done with it. Jeremy and I were in 8th grade, and this dude we went to school with, his girlfriend is like, oh, I got you some like Dracar Noir perfume or a cologne, and like a small bottle. And I was like, oh wow, that's a big deal. And he's like, I got you a bag of Skittles. And like within 2 hours, that relationship of 2 weeks was over. It was Valentine's Day. It was the one Valentine's Day breakup I will remember literally for the rest of my life. It was amazing. It was so amazing. I remember the kid's name was Ryan. He was so sad. It was amazing.
Sucks to suck, Ryan. You done good.
Yeah.
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 You're listening.
Anyone have any kind of like pro or negative Valentine's Day story? I don't really have any Valentine's Day story. I have like a couple stories of like I think I remember going out with like a friend, and I was like, oh God, it's Valentine's Day. And I was like, we can't go to a restaurant. And that was like it. Like beyond that, I don't really have any like notable Valentine's Day.
I wish
like,
it was 1 month later, dude. Like, it's just so close to Christmas. Like, come on.
You want to
Give us a
March?
goddamn
Yeah.
break.
You want to double
No.
team it with St. Patty's Day?
Yeah, flip it to
Yeah.
Easter. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
nobody's buying gifts on St. Patrick's Day, so make it then.
Yeah.
You got St. Patrick's, St. Valentine.
Easter.
Fight it out.
Hey man,
Fuck.
where's my Cadbury egg?
I really like this
It's a
St. Patrick's Day
gladiator
idea.
battle every year.
You have like a holiday where you
They
can
call it the Sainties.
yeah, you have the holiday where you can, make all your mistakes, and then the holiday where you can make up for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's how it
exactly.
you gotta space out the holidays so these companies can get their money. So
Yeah, I feel like fucking Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then Valentine's Day is just too close. And New Year's is in there. God damn. Give us a break, guys.
Eliminate all
Come on.
holidays.
Anyone though have like a notable like memory of a Valentine's Day moment? Like because like honestly,
romantic.
outside of being a kid, like trading Valentine's Day cards and getting like little candies.
I like that.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I liked making the little fucking like shoebox shit.
yeah.
And you dress it up.
And-
I like that.
and then everyone
But all
walked
my
around
fucking
and
nice
put a-
Valentine's
and
Day
put a
memories
card
are
in a
from
little
fucking
candy.
elementary school.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. So yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Totally, Jimmy.
Explain it to someone who went to school with 5 other kids.
You would basically make a shoebox with like a slit in it,
Mike,
like
you got
a
a fucking
mailbox.
coonskin cap.
And then like so imagine like 20 kids were in a room. You would have a shoebox. They would usually like wrap it up and decorate it. And so you would basically have like your own mailbox.
I see.
And then like kids would walk around and every kid was supposed to put a Valentine's Day card, and sometimes they had candy and stuff, and that's what
Now
you do
they
for the
can't
day.
they can't even buy their own Valentines now. Like the schools like make the Valentines, so everybody has like
That's
the
sad.
same Valentine.
Is that so they're like no one is excluded and they're all PC?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You can't even fucking give out candy. Like the kids can't give each other candy now.
That, you know, that sucks, but
Because of
I-
allergies and
I
whatever
bet,
wuss
yeah.
crap these
Fucking-
kids have now.
You know,
Kids
fuck
can't
it, dude. If a
not
kid's
eat
got a
Reese's
peanut
Pieces.
allergy, let him swell up. Fucking put some Narcan or whatever the fuck that shit is into him.
Fucking let them shoot up and make some real life choices.
That,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, those kids would, as I'm asking, and you don't have a lot, those kids would have some Valentine's Day memories. That's great. I opened the Pokemon Valentine's Day. I got my favorite Pokemon, and then I woke up in the hospital after I ate the candy. It was delicious.
Lovely.
Pika.
That's called a Valentine's Day adventure, right?
Yeah.
I went on a first date one time on Valentine's Day,
Whoa,
How'd that go?
unbeknownst.
Whoa, like what age? Ish.
Like you knew me at this point.
Oh, okay. So I mean, like, there's like a big difference between like it was my teens, my
No.
late teens, like so, like in your 20s.
Yeah,
Okay.
and neither of us. I mean, it didn't occur to either of us that was because she wasn't really into that.
Sure.
Did you find any place to go that wasn't?
Yeah,
just
we
absolutely
went to
packed?
Zorba's. Shout out to Zorba's.
Nice.
Yeah,
Zorba is awesome.
I mean, like that's a great lunch or dinner or whatever you had.
it was a good dinner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And now, like,
yes.
at what point in time did it occur to you guys that it was Valentine's Day?
Well, like it was one of those like, well, what are you doing like next Tuesday or whatever? Like, okay, that's perfect. And then that day rolled around. It's like, oh fuck.
I like that you both checked
well,
out that
we
so much
persevered,
that
Yeah,
they just didn't know it was Valentine's Day that Tuesday.
didn't even matter. Yeah,
I like that.
didn't matter at Zorba's.
It's like she thought the night was going to be way more romantic than it was. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey, going back to the old days.
Did you give her some Skittles?
yeah. I had them hide it in like a gyro, whatever.
We were talking about the old days of making the cards in school and other students putting like the Valentine's cards in it. I remember back in 7th, maybe 6th grade, so middle school, we're all like 12, 13, whatever. And I remember there was this girl I really liked, and I decided one day that I was going to give everybody like a Valentine's. That's kind of what you did, just have like a Valentine's card or whatnot, and just like for the entire class. So you got like 30 cards or whatnot. But I was going to give her a special one with like chocolate. And one of my friends found out about it. He found out I had a crush on her, and he was just like busting my chops. Like, what are you going to give her? Like, I'm going to give her this little chocolate. Like, dude, don't do that. Don't do that. And he
Give her a
kept
Rolex.
he kept
Come
pestering
on.
me about it. I don't know why, but he talked me out of it, and I just didn't. And just like
What a dick!
I don't know why.
Man, that sucks.
And I was thinking about it like years later, like why?
Don't let him talk you out of this shit.
But it turns out she's like one of the most popular girls in school, so I don't think mine would have got through because she got like
Don't
a
sell yourself
bag
short.
full of chocolate Hershey Kisses and shit. She was the one, and like I don't know why he talked me out of it because everybody else did it.
I mean, if it cheers you up, she's probably dead.
Or she's working at like a Shoney's
Happy
or
Valentine's Day.
He's got a
Holy
smoker
shit, that
skull
got dark.
at a Shoney's.
At a Shoney's. We could do that too. Valentine's Day gets really weird. when you're a
Actually,
kid.
so like right before I met Jeremy, I'll give you like actually a little kid, not super thrilled Valentine's Day note. When I was in 6th grade, so right before I met Jeremy, like probably like within a year, one of my neighbors, her and I were really good friends. I mean, that's the proximity. Like you hang out with your neighbors, but like her and I hung out all the time. And because it was Valentine's Day and it was like a boy hanging out with a girl, like several dudes in my class. Well, let me backtrack. So it was like something like you could send Valentine's Day cards. It was like, oh, if you want to send a Valentine's Day, you could pay like a dime. And then the dime goes to the school store. But you could send a Valentine's Day card and it will go to that person in their class. And like several kids in my class were like, oh, you're hanging out with this girl. And they wrote my name and sent her a card. And like she like got like 7 cards like addressed from me on Valentine's Day. But the cool thing is like actually her and I talked about what an adult thing. I'm in 6th grade. Well, her and I talked about it and I was like, I didn't send those. And she's like, I know. And we were like friends after. Like it was just kind of weird, but like, and I was like super embarrassed, but I was like, I didn't send those. And like, we hang out and they sent those and she's like, I know. I was like, oh, okay. Like, well, we moved on, but embarrassment done. But I was like, that was dark. So like screw little kids and Valentine's Day. It's like really cute with like the shoebox things Mike didn't do and candy. And then it's like dark and like sadistic.
They spent 70 cents to try and embarrass you.
Yeah, man. Kids didn't get milk that day.
I think they did that in our high
They'll
school
rue
too.
the day.
Like spend a couple bucks to get a rose like delivered to class or something.
Yeah,
like
and this
that.
was like the low end of that. Like I remember that in like junior high and high schools, like send a rose to your significant other. And this was like
Who's
the low
delivering these fucking roses?
Like the old ladies from the bar that have them.
end. Yeah.
They're making money off you high school kids. And so you suck it.
Yeah. But then this was 6th grade, so this is like the low end of that, where it was like literally like quarters and dimes. And I'm not talking about weed.
Oh.
But
Like Ethel shows up at a high school with a rose and they buzz her in. She's like, this is for Samantha. I don't know. That seems weird to me.
it's beautiful.
No, it's fine.
But she'll take your money.
It's a poem in its own way. Just like Blast from the Past. Guy does some stuff. I don't know.
Do you think there's women that end up in fallout shelters on Valentine's Day each year?
Probably.
Like, to fuck, or are they trapped? Or like, why are they in there?
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
the world's their oyster.
I see.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions about like how that came to be.
It's just a
It's called a
tradition.
fuck out shelter, Mike.
The what shelter?
A fuck out shelter.
Fuck out shelter. Okay, that's what I thought you said.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, back.
yeah. They're full on the 14th.
Yeah.
Okay.
I again have to go.
You can't go. This is your podcast.
I don't know who any of you people. You have all been figments of my imagination.
There's a gas leak in Paul's house. He's
is
been
all a
talking
fever
to
dream.
himself for like 2 years now.
This is a 3-year-long fever dream. You've been in a coma.
He's been trying to fix it for
great.
months, but it's a historic house, so
Yeah. he just doesn't have the
can't get
permit.
the permit.
You know, here's the real question, because I think my field to dream moments is, I think just watching films and talking about them might be a slice of heaven, but on the converse, it might be a slice of Mike's hell.
No, you're right. It is.
Welcome to Rabbit Troop.
Yeah.
We're a podcast about all those things.
Yeah. But not this movie. Not tonight.
No. Put some bananka in your mouth.
Yeah.
Bananka?
Remember that? Do people still do that? Are they still
don't think it
spraying shit in their
exists
fucking
anymore.
throats?
Banaka?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably.
I don't think it exists.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
it's got to.
Really?
I don't know.
They have You ever seen it in the open in a store? Or
I mean, not
Like,
recently, but I'm
No,
not
they
looking
used to
for
do it in like high school, like fucking
'cause-
dudes be walking around like,
Right, we saw it in Dumb and Dumber. It's like, fuck yeah.
yeah.
He's getting
well, he
it.
sprayed. Yeah,
he sprayed in
He
his
sprays
face.
it.
he missed a little bit.
But when's the last time you seen someone just whip out like a vial of spray and spray it down their face?
No, yeah, it's been a while.
That's not a thing.
of all
Not
the
counting
things I-
paint cans, I guess.
Of all the things I see,
Oh, except the
sprayed down
Narcans,
throats.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're not that one.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of stuff sprayed down through.
They got some WD-40 in their asses.
We said
The new
before that
Banaka.
Collin was the Rob Schneider correspondent, but Mike is our throatist.
Yeah. Oh, you the healthy type?
Make sure the throat is healthy and clean.
I assume the chemicals and the spray it made that thing so illegal. Yeah, that was like a junior high thing. Like Jeremy and I would be like,
Is someone looking this up?
again, we're
Why?
like Jeremy and I think on moments like we were dumped off at like these school dances as well as like you kids are in 7th grade, you're going to the school dance. Like that would be like what the kids would do, like a little like binoc.
How
Yeah.
would that be illegal? Or
No, now. Oh, like yeah, that.
Oh, no, you can still buy it.
Oh yeah, that was.
it.
Mike, I have to assume there have been changes.
Think about the technology
Like
changes
the
that have gone
like
into
the
Banaka.
aerosol and the chemicals.
I don't know. But this one includes 150 instant breath freshening sprays, a Banaka blast that lasts.
That's nice.
You can get it
Ooh,
on Amazon.
Banaka blast of the past.
You know what? That's nice.
How much is it?
That's
$60 for some reason.
There
It's
we
on
go.
eBay.
There.
No, this is
collector's
on. You
item.
can get it on Amazon. There's 2 left if you order soon.
So it's a pair. So 2 for 60.
No, it's 60 a piece, but they have 2 of them.
Oh no.
Wow.
Well,
There's other brands.
that doesn't seem.
I
Oh,
wish it was stocked up on Banaka back in the day. Put it aside.
Here's a better
Made
value.
some cash.
your vault in your fallout shelter.
Yeah.
This one is the Pizzazz brand.
Oh, nice.
You-
Pizzazz.
You get a 3-pack for $16.
You know, nothing says a good time like some pizzazz down your throat.
Some throat possess. That's what you want on Valentine's
Oh, it's got,
Day.
Pizzazz
ladies.
has caffeine in it.
Hey,
shit.
Jeremy, I'm going to start my own company. It's called Throat Confetti. Do you want to get in on it?
You can get it at a place called Super Low Foods. It looks like it's on the East Coast more regularly than it is.
By
out
the
here.
end of the night, one of these guys is going to have a fucking canister of Banaka.
I'm buying throatconfetti.com for Paul right now.
We exceeded our domain budget.
All of the money goes to the domain budget.
You listeners, you guys need to fucking start spreading the word so we can afford these
Yeah.
domain names. you know?
Sooner or later, we all needed an OnlyFans. I'm glad I got to be Throat Confetti. Mike is the stiff
Yeah, we're going to have to start working on ours, guys.
Yeah.
Colin, what do you got lined up?
Dude, if I
Yeah,
type
Dick
these things,
Pony and
yeah.
Throat Confetti over there.
Colin's still reeling over dickpony.com. And again, listeners, dickpony.com brings you right to Rabbit Troop Sucks.
Yeah. I think I don't know. Remember what I was looking up, but Dick Pony showed up like as like the pre-option when you start like typing things in. and just,
Anytime you
bam.
start typing D, I want Dick Pony to come up for you.
It's currently there.
Good.
But wait, weren't you going to get dickpony.fun? I think it was like honestly $2.
Yeah, it was like, I think 2 pennies probably. All of the other ones were cheap.
Well, .fun just really says a lot.
Dickpony.fun, yeah.
Oh, they're really
amazing.
literally trying to nickel and dime you out.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Well, I mean, I feel we don't need advertising money when you have .fun because
Yeah.
.fun. I think I'm going to follow up everything now with .fun. What do you want to do? I'm going to go see a movie. Is it going to be good? .fun.
#.fun.
I'm going to a restaurant. Did you like it? .fun.
I
like
feel
Koreans.
this taking off. There's no way. Yeah. This will go bad.
Yeah. If anyone could have seen Colin's face when he realized Dick Pony led to Rabbit Troop Sucks,
It was amazing.
it was. I reached nirvana that
I
day.
texted my wife
Yeah.
immediately.
Euphoric.
Yeah. I entered another plane of existence. I was reborn several times, and once as a zebra.
Have you talked the unpaid graphical artist into doing a Dick Pony shirt?
I haven't brought it up to her, but I'm sure she'd be down.
Be like,
Mike
I
told
want
me-
you to use your imagination.
Mike told me that for some reason that was always implied, and I didn't really know what that meant.
What?
But he had a really stern look about that. He just said, it was always implied.
Get down like that. All right.
It's been snowing a lot here. I think there's been some cabin fever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, that
you
was,
know who else had cabin fever? Fucking Seawalk, baby.
yeah, well, that was Blast from the
Fucking loved
Past.
it,
Well, thanks for listening to us. Hopefully you enjoyed Valentine's
We just
Day.
summarized that movie
Here you go.
in our ravings.
Throwconfetti.com, 1 cent a year. You could have it.
Oh my God. Get it.
Why are you not getting
Pick
this
it
one?
up.
I'm not putting my name on that. Dick Pony is as far as I go.
That's
He drew the line there. Not.
Throw confetti doesn't seem more far. It seems
Yeah.
I mean,
not as far.
Collin, if I were to text you about this, it seems like Mike really pulled out after dickpony.com.
Yeah.
I can't believe he wasn't willing to finish with throw confetti.
Yeah. Throw confetti is how I like to finish.
Oh,
usually.
the finishing move. Get over here.
Is that a Mortal Kombat joke?
Yeah, the Mortal Kombat throat confetti move.
Yeah. That's the.
There's a series of joystick and button presses that will defy most men.
I mean, that's how I do it. Yeah.
Is this called the riff?
We're
Like,
keeping this
riffing
Dick
now,
Pony
guys,
riding.
You know?
Yeah.
I feel like this must be like how Fish feels, on stage. They don't know when.
No.
They don't know when they're gonna get back to the song.
They don't know where they are. Yeah. They're just playing.
Just gotta cut all this
No, well.
quality content and put it on a goddamn Patreon.
I was
Yeah.
about to say that. This is the extra content. I don't know how much you would pay for it.
No, nothing. I think- because I'm pretty sure most of our listeners are just like people's pets that they leave podcasts running for. I don't think anyone's actually listening.
So this is for the pets.
We know there's a club in Spain that likes us.
a club?
Yeah. Remember
No.
the Perfect Weapon episode, the club in Spain.
Dude, they just love the perfect
contacted
weapon.
Paul.
What?
Do you guys want to?
They just love the perfect
Do
weapon.
you guys not remember this?
No.
Thank you very much.
Oh my God.
Yes.
We had a whole thing on it. We were gonna we would have to go over there. They just wanted us to show up or something like that. They invited us.
Oh, I vaguely remember a little of this.
None of this sounds real to me.
No,
Oh my God.
it was very.
Paul.
It was one of those.
Remember the
nights.
Perfect Weapon episode?
Yes.
The Perfect Weapon episode. Did we not
Distraction
talk
knife.
about? Yeah, distraction knife. Did we not talk about some people like a club in Spain at the beginning of that episode?
Yeah. A club was inviting us to attend.
Like a motorcycle club or like a dance club?
No, it was like this prestigious club was like
Like a gentleman's club?
we
not,
didn't
not like
know.
a strip club, but
we didn't know.
like from
that was the
Trading
thing.
Places?
It was like we cordially invite you and we want you to attend. And I was like, dude, we're all getting murdered. You and Jeremy, Mike, specifically you. Was like, I'm totally in. Like, I'll totally visit this. I was like,
All right,
I was
shit.
like, awesome. Like, we're getting solicited via emails to attend some
That was a Nigerian prince.
yeah. It was
He
Club
wanted us to show up in
Ariba was
Spain.
gonna cut you up.
Fuck yeah. Okay. Well, I apologize. I don't remember this.
That's all right.
Oh yeah, it was a questionable club by all means. Like this was, and we got 2 invites. That's why I was like, oh man,
It was called the Spanish Fly.
Mike.
Yeah.
You don't remember reading these emails?
No.
Yeah, this club kept inviting us to attend. And then you guys, I think, joked, we're like, oh, do we get flights and stuff? I was like, oh, that wasn't mentioned at all. It was like, we could just attend.
Okay, it's vaguely coming back to me.
Good old Club Ariba.
Yeah.
You gotta go back and revisit the Perfect Weapon.
I don't-
If you want in on that conversation,
I don't listen to this
not you, the listener.
Oh yeah, listeners definitely go
So it's
back.
called Club Ariba.
Club Reba's a real thing, bro.
Like, do they just play Reba McEntire songs there?
It's Club Reba.
You know? She's got some good hits.
1962, California. big bada boom.
How dare you get into this movie?
What the fuck movie are we talking about?
It's a blast from
Blast from the
from the
Past,
Past.
1999.
Before we get into this movie, I want to bring up the director of this movie.
Okay.
Who's done 2 works before this that I thought were very bizarre. He is the creator and writer of WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I saw this. Yeah.
I thought that was very strange. And he also directed Police Academy.
Yeah, Lamar, I literally wrote both of those things. I know we've just been
Both of
talking
those-
about Valentine's Day, but like, yeah, what a bizarre
Both of those things
series of
together.
things.
And I like both of those things.
Well, I mean, like really looking at that, like kind of badass. Like I have noted before, Police Academy 1 as an entity is very different from the franchise of
Very.
Police Academy. Like
It is.
I'm down. I might even be able to throw in like number 2. Not as good, but like, okay, that's like a sequel to a notable film. Outside of Police Academy 1 and 2,
No,
that like
don't
that
visit
like,
those.
yeah, you gotta get out.
You're not
You
down
gotta-
for Mission
yeah.
to Moscow.
Oh my god, no.
You got to get
Or Steve
really drunk
Gutenberg
for
like
those.
just like straight up leaves the franchise. Like it's
Yeah, when Steve Gutenberg is leaving the franchise, the
Goots.
the
You gotta
Goots
get
is loose. Yeah, you know you've done something wrong.
You gotta let the goots loose sometimes.
Goose is loose. That's all I wanted to say about Hugh Wilson, the director of this movie.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm glad you're bringing us back to this because I'm like, that's crazy. Like, as a portfolio, like in film, like that's super cool. Like, honestly, like seriously, anyone who likes comedy, especially like early mid 80s comedy, because Police Academy is 84, that's totally worth watching. WKRP in Cincinnati, I think it was 2 seasons, starts in 78. Like, so notable.
There was
super
only
cool.
2 seasons of that.
I think so.
That's crazy.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
Like I don't know. In my mind, that was a show that was on for a long time.
Also, the writer of this movie, Dudley Do-Right, which also has Brendon Fraser. Huge,
We thought it was Dudley Do
Yeah,
Right wrote
yeah.
this movie.
Dudley.
huge bomb. No, because it's this director. It's Hugh Wilson also did that.
Wow.
He also did Dudley Do Right.
Yeah, which is like a huge bomb, and I think like a real hit to Brendon Fraser's career. To be honest with you,
Wasn't this movie kind of a huge bomb? Didn't it not do? I mean, the
I-
Rotten Tomatoes rating is not.
yeah. So I don't really like in the greater scheme of things. I don't really know. So like the trivia is, as soon as this movie was done, Brendon Fraser immediately starts doing The Mummy. So like, I don't think this movie does anything to Brendon Fraser's career.
This
I
is
just
okay.
I just remember seeing this like on TV a bunch.
The budget for this was like 35 million, and the box office was like 40 million.
Nah.
I mean, that's not great.
I mean, so like, but kind of neutral. I mean, I don't know what this movie was billed as, and also like 1999. Like,
Yeah. For perspective, Dudley Do Right was a $70 million budget and made 10 million.
yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't even seen that film.
Neither have I. Remember when it came out?
Well, Dudley
like
Do Right.
that.
Yeah, I've seen that film, and
I'm sure I've seen
it is not good. You
So
should never see that.
we get Christopher Walken and Sissy Spacek, and they are Helen and Calvin, and they are in 1962. And Calvin is a genius. He has invented all these things. He has IPs, patents, and he sold all these things. This is noted later on. And he's basically just retired. He was a professor. He's now doing whatever. And one of my favorite parts of this film is he builds this like illustrious bomb shelter. And
In the middle of a goddamn subdivision.
sort of. I mean, it's kind of noted later that it was like more like smaller subdivisions in 62 because they do build on top of this.
I feel like people would be like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?"
They do
over
talk
here?"
about it because they're like, this guy was always in his backyard and stuff like this. This guy builds this like huge bomb shelter, and I've noted this in so many of the podcasts, and I don't know, there's like a very boyish thing to note. And I know Mike is kind of in agreement. I don't know if he's in agreement with the bomb shelter, but like cool rooms, like when I was a kid, like I've always wanted like this cool room, like TVs and like neon lights, like that. Like I'm thinking like when I was literally Jeremy, like 14, like that was like every kid's dream, like computers, video games, like stuff like this, like some fantasy world.
I still want cool rooms.
Sure.
I'm all about that.
But that's what this bomb shelter reminds me of. So not that they're going to get locked down there for 35 years, but if someone's like, you've got to spend 2 weeks in the coolest bomb shelter in the world. This is my dream. Like, and I told these guys, I don't know what it is about it. Like, if I could be guaranteed the volumes of sound I would play on something could only be heard by me or the people in this, not that I'd go insane. There's some kind of comfort to this. If I was playing music, as I've noted, like I've played like instruments, guitar, stuff like this through amps, loading up like really cool like movies. I don't know, I'm saying like just like powerhouse blasting it. Just like there is a comfort to be like, I know this is not bothering anyone. This is only being heard by me or the people that want to be here. So I don't know, being in a bomb shelter like this for like 2 weeks, again, like unlimited food, all these sodas, the food that you want. Again,
What about 35 years?
I said that. No. You would lose your mind. I'd be Sissy Spacek sooner than Sissy Spacek in this film. Yeah, 35 years. No, like 2 weeks, like cool, like life, like dream vacation. Yes, that's cool.
The end of this movie should have essentially been Sissy Spacek like having liver failure.
or her murdering people before that.
Yeah.
Well, they're talking about, the nuclear missile crisis. We get Kennedy. We get, all the nuclear scares. And they're hosting a party. And Sissy Spacek is pregnant. And basically what happens is, Kennedy makes like an announcement. And Calvin's like, everyone should go home. Let's think about this. And he goes downstairs to the bomb shelter. He's like, I think we need to wait this out. We're going to wait a couple days. Let's see what happens. Simultaneously, there's a jet plane that is just failing in air. There's a engine problem, and this guy's radioing in, and they're like, let's see what we could do. Kind of pans back and forth. Eventually, this guy's like, I got to eject, and the plane goes into the house of Calvin and Helen as they're going into the bomb shelter. And this really triggers all the fears in Calvin. He's like, oh my God, this is like the nuclear crisis is going to happen. We got to, survive until the half-life, and this is going to be 35 years. You're going to give your baby here and all this stuff. And then we see some weird time lapses. I love the beginning of this movie. I actually showed this movie to my dad.
It's like its own separate movie.
Yeah, I showed this movie to my dad on one of his, not most recent trips, but one of his last trips, kind of as a whim. I was like, I think you're going to like this. And he did. So I'm really happy I showed it to him.
Think about the volume of fucking dirt that you would have to secretly remove from under the earth to make this goddamn bomb shelter, dude. Like, there's no way people would be like your nosy neighbor. He'd be coming over with the permit people. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God forbid it's a historic district.
Jeremy, I totally agree with you. And like the volume, the size of this place would have to be so enormous. But again, all of this is like part of my fantasy watching this film. That's why I'd be like,
I get it.
I'm like, if it is this place, that's where I want to stay for 2 weeks.
I'd have had a hot tub down in that motherfucker.
Hell yeah, man. Jeremy, this is your mall. Like,
all the Italian you can handle.
It was made by Microchip.
Italian.
Yeah, everyone loved it. So yeah, they're now locked in because they're like scared, and Calvin's like, oh my God, like all these things went on, like off. All these sensors I set up are indicating like there's a fallout, there's going to be radiation. We're going to be down here for 35 years. And they do show this time lapse of sorts, kind of like a montage. And it's, she immediately gives birth, Sissy Spacek, that's Helen. And then it's like the child growing up. There's like a lot of like cool, fun moments. It is very clear Calvin is extraordinarily intelligent. He's teaching Adam multiple languages, who will grow up to be Brendon Fraser, Adam. Like German, there's Latin, there's other languages. Yeah, French.
A lengthy baseball explanation.
Which is kind of fun. Like there's like, like intelligent, fun jokes. Like I taught my kid like the human dictionary and all these things, but now I have to teach him slang words in obscure sports that he's never seen. I could only base this off of my word in baseball cards. Like
I do like fun. The joke that Christopher Walken makes about trying to he doesn't make it, but the writers made it. Trying to explain baseball to somebody who's never seen it or experienced
like
it.
The pitcher.
And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And at the end, they kind of like put the punchline of that joke in.
Yeah, like pitcher, like no, not a picture. He's like a pitcher. Oh, like what mom pours water out of. He's like, no. But yeah, like how hard would this be to like teach to someone who's never seen this and stuff like that? Yeah, super fun. Throughout this, Sissy Spacek is losing her mind. She clearly doesn't want to be, is trapped downstairs. That's why I said, like, I could understand 2 weeks. I think for a lot of people, that might even be extreme. I would be absolutely fine with 2 weeks, if not more. Again, like, you're given all this food, everything's kind of catered to, stuff like this. I'm not saying 35 years, but...
Christopher Walken seems to do just fine.
Yeah, he flourishes quickly.
He fucking loves it.
But Christopher Walken at his core is just, like, honestly... a bad husband. He's oblivious to all of her needs. This is brought up like a big thing is his drink of choice is heated
hot Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, hot Dr. Pepper. And he's
Not
like
hot, warm.
Yeah. And he says to her, like, that's your favorite drink. And she says very early in the movie, no, that's yours.
Her favorite drink is any alcohol.
Yeah, well, all the alcohol.
She downs it.
It is when you don't have your favorite drink and all you have is alcohol.
Yeah.
How much alcohol did he pack down there, man?
Quite a bit.
Yeah. 35 years.
He's still making those fucking, what do they call the Rob Roys?
Roy?
Yeah.
Like late into the movie. Like after everything's been resolved, he's like, hey, you want a Rob Roy?
She's pretty smart with her intake because she's cutting it with like cooking sherry and making it last as long as she can. But kind of just
Maybe he's making his own down there.
But this was some angst I had like when we watched, not everyone watched all of this, but like Lamar, you and I would talk about this like early on, like Walking Dead episodes. There's the episodes where people were like, we don't need to like get alcohol, get food and stuff. I'm like, dude, get alcohol. There's so many purposes, like medical, like weapon use. Like if you're living in this world, like maybe picking up a bottle of vodka, like has not just like drinking it, has plenty of uses. Don't just be like, I don't need that. Like, why would you not need that? Like, I don't know. So I do understand.
If I was down there, I would have had acid, man. That's what got me through the 35.
He could probably make it. He's
just continuous usage of acid.
Yeah. Does it predate acid a little bit?
He could be the creator of acid.
He's
the Timothy Leary
All right,
that we all
He's
need.
supposed to be a genius.
Yeah.
Like snake venom, then. Just
There you go.
vials of snake venom.
You're
I'm
the
taking
snake.
shots
Nice,
of that.
Jeremy.
He did have
Wood
tranquilizers.
Snake venom and tequila.
Wood snake venom and tequila.
They had the tranquilizers. They could have just been on
Yeah,
tranks all day.
tranquilizers.
Yeah.
He prepared well. This shelter, fallout shelter, is well prepared.
How long would we, how about this? We have like modern technology. You don't have the internet. You can't like communicate out or stuff like this.
How much like entertainment do I have? Like movies.
You could play.
television shows?
You have 3 episodes of The Honeymooners.
Yeah, no, that's what I want to get
then-
around. You have.
Do I have a gun with one bullet?
you have
That's my next question.
You have seasons of episodes and of shows and movies. You have video games, but like you clearly can't like go and play
books
online.
too. Like
Yeah.
let's say I have like a Kindle with like
You have a Kindle.
35,000 books.
Yes.
Yeah,
How-
I'm down there for 35 years. Thanks,
Okay,
guys.
so that's what I want to throw
And
out.
booze?
Like yes. So within reason, you could play all of your video games that you have now. You could read pretty much unlimited books, listen to unlimited of roughly music. How long would be too long for any of you down there?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think Jeremy could do 35 years if he could walk.
In all honesty, I think isolation, or even I almost think isolation, even with like 3 people, you couldn't do more than like 10 years, man. There's no way. There's fucking no way. You go nuts.
What do you think, Collin?
Although I guess prisoners do it.
Yeah, I think it'd be tough. Like, I don't know. Like maybe if there's like me and my wife, maybe like a couple more people or something, they could probably do several years.
You guys all thinking a couple years, several years?
Are you saying like how long would I enjoy it for, like you and your 2 weeks, or how long would I take before I would murder all of you?
Kind of that, like before you mentally cracked.
Oh, not long. A couple weeks down there and I'm gone.
So like my vacation is like you.
Yeah.
Like the Venn diagram is like I'm getting happy and you're like I'm killing.
Correct.
everyone.
Day 14 when you're like I feel so good and refreshed. I like my cave is a bloodbath.
He's
There's-
like, if I have to watch another episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
It's a bloodbath.
yeah, no one's getting out of that alive.
Dexter Mike.
I need people. I'm an extrovert, guys. I need people around me. None of this shelter crap.
Yeah.
Can't do it. If there's not a bar that I can go to with weird old people, no.
You could be a bar, the one you fashion yourself.
You can make new friends every time you open a book.
Yeah, just find your own adventures.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be like the Mighty Boosh. I'm going to have like coconut people around me.
The man's an ass.
Yeah.
Coco Loco. I don't know. I think I could do. I think Jeremy, with everything that you noted, I could do quite a bit of time if I was given like the food that I wanted and like the access to books and stuff. But I have to be able to walk. Like,
dude, 35 years is a long
I'm not
time.
saying 35 years by any means. You said like you could do like a lengthier time. Like legitimately 35 years. Hell no. I could do longer, but I would have to have like the ability to. I always walk around. I walk around and think. I'll walk around and listen to music. Whatever it might be, I just could not be in like a small confined space like that. But I could be longer if it was like what I jokingly said, like your mall scenario.
Yeah.
And I could like
Like,
walk
it's a
and
bigger
like, just,
space.
Yeah, like I could, and then I could just like read books and like eat food and like chill. Probably quite some time. Not 35 years. I'm thinking like months. Yeah.
The food would be
I could
the
do.
hardest thing,
I could do a few years.
Yeah.
Not 35.
I think a little Vic.
I could do like maybe 2-3 years tops. I think by the end of 3 years, I'd step out and then there's Mars. You know, boom.
I guess for me, like the context behind why I'm there is important. Because like if I thought the world ended, I wouldn't stay down there at all. I would just kill myself.
Yeah, it depends on what's like.
Right.
What if it's 35 years and this is it?
Yeah.
Like I don't think so. But if you're told it's a prison, literally, and you're 35 years, and then you can leave and enjoy it, I could probably hunker down and do it.
There'd have to be financial benefits for me. If someone was like, if you do 10 years, you get $1 million for every year. Like, okay, I'll fuck with that. But if it's like you have to stay on there for 35 years, and maybe when you emerge, like there might still be civilization, but probably not. No, not a chance I'm staying.
How old are they when they go in there? You think? Do you think they're like their mid-30s when they go down?
That's my guess.
Yeah, that would be my guess too.
This is the youngest I've seen Christopher Walken.
This sounds like a Rabbit Troop Sucks challenge, man. Let's make this go viral. You know?
Okay.
How long can you last?
You can start, Jeremy.
The TikTok challenge. 35 years in a fallout shelter.
Here's a real love letter to
Buck-out shelter.
To our podcast. So I said like, like if I had like the space like a mall and I could walk around, I could probably last months. Like happily content. Like, and I again, I'm not saying 35 years, but I was like, I could easily extend it. I just love like chilling out. Like, but I'd probably listen to our podcast. Our podcast like spans like 9 days at this point in time. Like I would totally just listen to our podcast here and there and be like,
the first couple weeks out of the way.
Yeah, I'd be like, they're my friends, and I'd be like, again, I could do that for like months. Then there might be a problem. Again, like we're like leaving year one. I mean,
that's when the acid comes in, Paul.
Well, thank God we have Christopher Walken. You know, we haven't even gotten to Brendon Fraser. Boom, he is now 33 years old and he's making wishes. I wish I could see a nice woman and she would be great and be like mom. Sissy Spacek is definitely going off the deep end. But now it's 35 years and the latches, they've opened. The one thing I want to note is there's some time lapse between this soda jerk and this guy, or it's just this guy, and he's working at an ice cream parlor in the above world. And in like the 60s, like a soda shop, ice cream shop opens up and it's like very popular. And he's like, "Hey, I'm making like $1.19 an hour and blah, blah, blah." And we see the evolution of this guy throughout the movie. And then it turns into like a bar and like a really rough and tumble bar. But this is the first part in the 60s. But now the latches are open. It's modern times. 35 years have elapsed. We're in the 90s.
In the year 2000.
Year 2000.
Conan and La Bamba are up there.
Do you think that Helen and what's his name, Seawalk, you think they gave their son like some like, you know, like maybe some jerking time, or is this guy he hasn't busted a nut in 35 fucking
I think
years?
that because I'm gonna say something. He says something to his mom, and I can't remember the exact word, but it was like I think it was his birthday, and it's like, "Oh, what did you wish for?" He's like, "Oh, I wished for like meeting a nice woman," and he's like, "Oh, do you think that?" And he's like, "I've only thought that for every day for 15 years of my life." He's like very direct about it. Well, Christopher Walken's the one who first goes up, and he's like freaked out. It's raining. He doesn't know what to expect. He meets the soda jerk, who's now some like crazy dude, like doing like weird drugs in like a now defunct bar, I think, where like homeless people are sleeping. I don't know.
There's a man drinking a cocktail out of a citronella candle.
Yeah, it's good times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got to understand. Like he went into the ground in a nice like upscale neighborhood in Southern California. He comes out and it's like fucking Skid Row.
Well, he's dead in the ground. Dead
in the ground.
Yeah.
But you know, if you were gonna pop up in a place without having sex for 35 years, Skid Row. That's where you want to be.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey,
Yeah.
if you want me to be a boy, I can be a boy.
Well, Christopher Walken.
Did you see the actor's name?
No.
It's one word, Jasmine. Jazzmun.
M-U-N?
M-U-N.
Nice.
Well, Christopher
Strong.
Walken quickly goes back down and has a heart attack. And Brendon Fraser needs to go up and save the family. Sissy Spacek, Helen, is like, I will stay with your dad. And Brendon Fraser's like, you've taught me right. I'm going to get some supplies. I'll make sure we're okay. Don't worry about it. So he goes up. He sees the soda jerk, tells him, as the son of God, everything's going to be okay. And I think it's going to be. And then he goes to sell some baseball cards. And this is where he meets Eve. Clueless.
It's all about Eve.
Well, yeah, because he's trying to sell baseball cards.
I don't like Alicia Silverstone.
No, nobody does.
Said the same thing, Jeremy, as we were watching the movie. Said the same thing. So here's my curveball. I said I liked her as the mom in Diary of the Wimpy Kid. There was like a fourth installment where like the first 3 Diary of a Wimpy Kids, same cast, various other things. But then they made like a newer one with like a similar cast, and she was the mom. And I was like, okay, like I'm buying this. It was the first time I thought I could see you in this role. But I agree, Jeremy, in the 90s and stuff like this, people were like gaga over her. I have never been that way, and I was not in this way in this movie.
No.
Is it just because of Clueless?
Or the Aerosmith videos?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't she like a big fucking weirdo now?
I don't know much about her.
Probably.
So.
Who knows?
Who would you have liked to see cast instead?
In this movie?
Yeah. Drew Barrymore.
Oh, God, no.
90s? I'll tell you someone who I really... So you want like a really cute young blonde who I think would be like really well fitted? Heather Graham.
Pam Anderson? What?
Oh, God, no. God, not Heather Graham.
In this role?
She's the worst actress
on
the planet.
I don't disagree with you, Mike, but like playing what this role is, I'd be totally fine with her. For what this film is, like this would
I'm not on board with this.
Who do you want?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But like I like when Heather Graham shows up in movies because I like looking at her. But the minute she says anything in anything she's in, it's like, oh my God, you're so bad.
Well, I mean, Alicia Silverstone isn't a big part of this film, but every time she is, it's kind of like the part that drags it down.
They should have just had Brendon Fraser do both.
Yeah.
Brendon Fraser is Brendon.
Like a Meet the Clumps kind of thing.
Alan, you
He's just playing all the characters.
Baby.
He meets his cousin who survived. Like, I'm your third cousin. Brendon Fraser. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that would have been a better movie.
Well, he's got to
Not
sell
that
some
this
baseball
movie's
cards.
bad, but
And he does. But he doesn't. And that's how he meets Alicia Silverstone. She's like, I work at this crap place, and this guy's trying to rip you off, so you got to go. And that's weird. And he's eventually like, hey, I'm a big weirdo, but if you show me around town, I'll give you a baseball card, and I need to get some supplies. And she's like, you know
I'm
what?
sorry,
I'm
but
in.
Alicia Silverstone in Southern California, even at this particular time, she could get a job making more money anywhere than this fucking
She's
baseball
dressed
card.
like a goth prostitute working at a baseball card shop for some reason.
God damn.
Well, I mean, where do you buy your baseball cards? And from whom?
Yeah.
Didn't you go in there like midnight? It was next to the porn store.
Yeah.
I mean,
You just walked in there. And it's like a
sometimes-
trading card store
Where are you
open
getting
at
your
midnight.
baseball cards from, you know?
In the 90s, you really needed baseball cards.
Emergency.
This wasn't like Amazon didn't exist. This was like eBay did exist, but this would have taken weeks.
Yeah.
You would have to correspond via email.
Shit.
Like,
You got
I'm gonna go to the post office. I'll send you
You got
this.
a Mickey Mantle rookie card. Right
He ran in there with a
double-sided
rookie
dong.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Good thing she happened to be working that night, or else he would have been taken for. I think he offered him $500 for a rookie Mickey
Also,
Mantle.
she didn't need a job, but really needed a job. She's like,
Yeah.
I don't need to work
It
for
all
this
makes
creep,
sense.
but
It's
I
fine.
really need money because I can't afford anything else.
Yeah.
Well, that's where you're at. Well,
You know, I really like the house she lives in for not being able to afford
Sure.
anything.
That's Dave Foley's house.
Troy,
Also, let's I know. So they go like, granted, he comes up out of the floor. He's in this fucking abandoned like fucking soda shop, half that turned into a bar, that turned into a rave club, that turned into a shithole. But eventually, he makes his way to like nice neighborhoods.
yeah.
I don't think that he is. I mean, he seems pretty smart, level-headed guy. Like, as soon as he got to the nice neighborhoods, why didn't he be like, holy shit, dude, this is like, I'm going to go down and get my parents. Like, this looks nice. Like, we can come up here and do something with this.
Well, I
Like,
mean,
yeah.
Never occurred to him.
Well, I mean, to play devil's advocate slightly, this dude has never even seen the sun. So,
yeah.
That's what happens when you don't bust a nut in 35 years. You make poor choices.
Yeah, you need that clarity.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he's never interacted with human beings, seen the sun, or seen things and how they work. So, I bet things would be somewhat jarring.
Yeah.
But he handles it fine. He meets everybody just nice and dandy.
Yeah, I mean, he goes gaga over Alicia Silverstone,
He does.
the character Eve, very quickly, and they do strike the deal that she'll get him supplies, he'll give him these very rare, or her a couple very rare baseball cards, or pay a couple $1,000s a week, which I guess is like beyond fair, even in like '90s terms, like $1,000 a week. But she's doing
Yeah,
like a
that's
bunch.
way beyond fair.
Yeah, but she's like doing a lot of work. Like, I mean, like.
Hey, you got to work hard for that cash.
But that dude's like
All right.
throwing around baseball cards like willy nilly. Like that would be
Well,
like
he's got a lot of them.
that's the
He's
thing.
got like a complete set
that's
of
the thing.
like 1950 something baseball teams.
that's the thing. Like even if she was gonna be like very kind of nice, reasonable, I think $2,000 could have been $2,000 to $5,000. I mean, not to rip him off, just be like, I'm gonna do everything you need to do. Boom. Even in the '90s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude.
it's not like he would even know.
Right.
Right.
Right. She's very
Yeah.
modest.
He doesn't know what like how much money is.
And really,
Like, he's
this
just
is like, I know we're like late into the episode of this and probably going to be winding down soon, but like this is kind of like really scattering through the rest of the movie. Like them just getting supplies, him kind of falling in love with her a little more. He says that from the beginning, but really her changing her ways to be like, oh my God, like this guy's actually kind of nice.
Well, at some point he hires her to he's like, I'm gonna hire you now to find me a wife.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's the
what I'm
thing.
here for now.
And that's the turn of events where she's like, oh, maybe this guy's nice. We find out Dave Foley is Troy.
He's the owner of the house she lives in,
Yeah,
correct?
Troy is the roommate. Kids in the Hall again. The former boyfriend, Cliff, Nathan Fillion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Firefly.
Yeah, so noted. He's in it throughout. So yeah,
It's empty.
What the fuck are you guys drinking there?
don't worry about it.
Some champagne.
It's
Yeah, they're, like,
Guy-entine's
passing-
Day.
Yeah.
Like a bottle of like Colt 45 back and
Mimosas,
forth.
dip strawberries, flip dip strawberries.
Anytime is brunch time if you have champagne and orange juice, and the will to live.
Are you just going straight for the champagne now, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because why not?
Yeah.
That's correct.
So I
That
can't
orange
remember
juice gets in the way.
if they were dating before or was he just a roommate that was into her.
Who?
The guy that is leaving.
Oh, he.
No, they were dating.
yeah, they were
Yeah.
dating, and he was just picking up his like last
His
belongings.
Ralph Lauren underwear.
Yeah.
Well, and she makes note of that. She's like, listen, like guys today want like if they're good looking, they're shallow, they're pieces of shit. But she's like, I kind of like the D, you know?
Yeah.
They have
She likes,
they have the D, and
what, hair and ass?
I like that.
She said.
Hair, legs, legs, I think, and
What,
ass,
hair, legs, and ass.
something like that. Yeah. I don't know.
hair, legs, and ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she does agree, like, maybe I could help you find someone. And even Troy, Dave Foley, takes him out to go, like, clothes shopping. They go to a nightclub, various other things. Later in the film, I know this is kind of weird. This is something that I always remember in the film. Dave Foley kind of falls for the charm of Brendon Fraser's character, like in a sincere way. And he says this to Eve. He's like, like after we were clothes shopping, I was like hanging out with him. I was just like talking to this guy, and I thought he was like a big old weirdo. Like I love Dave Foley's character because he's like,
yeah, Dave Foley and Christopher Walken are the best characters in this movie.
Because Dave Foley's like not duped, and he's not like a dummy. He's like, I was hanging out with this guy, and like for one, I think he's kind of sincere, so that's like super weird. But he also is like, why people have like good manners? Because it's like to tell other people that like you care about them and you like care about their comfort. And he called me a mister and you like a madam. Because those people are people who like care about like other people's comfort as well. And I've never really thought about that and like, oh shit. And I was like, I like that. That was like his revelation, his epiphany. Like this guy's not like messing around, but like, oh, those are like really nice things and you could just like implement those in life. Like, why did people forget about those? So like the idea of like the title Blast from the Past or like these outdated things that sometimes still come around again. I do love that element of this film. It's like the main reason I wanted to select it is like, not just like chivalry is not dead. It's just like human connections, just like saying something nice or having like a shred of decency to another human being can actually probably go a long way. I definitely think that theme holds up today. Like if you implement it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And a rarity, which is sad.
It also shows that Dave Foley just like Brendon Fraser, the character kind of grew on him because when they first meet, he's kind of grilling him, giving him questions about where are you from? You're from Alaska. What year was Alaska found? like who's the president? What's the capital? And he's kind of taken aback with his intelligence. He didn't even know
the answers. He's like, all right,
but,
check that out
on his computer.
But that was way different from the meeting him at the beginning to this interaction at the club to now he's telling Alicia Silverstone that he's a cool dude.
Yeah,
and that you're blowing it. You're blowing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it's kind of nice that like part of the theme of this movie is like manners go a long way. Like, I totally don't disagree with that whatsoever. Like, a please, a thank you, a holding a door open, of just being nice to someone. Like, I don't know. It's sad. I just think a lot of people have forgotten that. I don't think anyone in this room has. Yeah. I think most people like I interact with like day to day, but I think a lot of people have, and I don't know. Like that's sad.
I think this movie does a good job of, because Brendon Fraser's character is kind of jarring. He's from the past, and he's just kind of excited to be alive. And there's people around him who have this reaction to, why are you so happy? Okay, oh yeah, fine. Like when he first comes out of the fallout shelter, and he's like, look at the sky, it's the sun, and people are like, yeah, okay, dude. But they smile.
I agree with Jeremy that Dave Foley and Christopher Walken are my favorite characters. But I'm going to say this like directly. Although Brendon Fraser is not my favorite character in this film,
he does exactly what he's supposed to do.
He is perfectly cast. Yeah. He is perfectly cast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's just like not the guy I'm laughing at or like gravitating towards.
But Alicia Silverstone was like, you could have. I could have played the part.
Yeah.
Like, we could have done everything she did.
I honestly feel she is the downfall of this film. If she was maybe cast with someone more likable in this film, I think this movie could have been a little bigger. Again, Brendon Fraser immediately apparently started filming The Mummy, but I feel she's kind of the downfall because although I love that he's trying to like find love, and it's true, like she kind of sucks. Like I don't really like her character. Like she's fine.
Yeah, she's jealous.
She's fine.
Like overbearing.
To kind of play a little bit of devil's advocate here, I don't really think it's all her fault because Brendon Fraser is like, the main character, but he doesn't grow at all through the movie. The only character who is supposed to grow at all is her. She starts as a mess and she's supposed to grow, but we don't really get to like see that happen.
Yeah.
Like she kind of mentions like,
it takes place in like 2 minutes at the end of the film.
Yeah.
She grows.
Star Wars.
She's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah. So Brendon Fraser is like, hey, do you think there's something could happen between us? And she's like, I still have some hangups on my ex. Like I'm still not totally over him. And then she just is all of a sudden, and then they're just good to go. Like, all right, well, I mean, with a little bit of nudging from Dave Foley, but we don't get to like see really enough of that journey. I think to make her,
it happens so fast. So like we can really go to it. I mean, because nothing of consequence really happens after.
Nothing of consequence happens in the whole movie.
Yeah, so like eventually she's like, he tells her the truth, She thinks he's fucking bonkers and calls like a psychiatrist on him. And that psychiatrist shows up and they proceed to take him away. He escapes around the neighborhood for a little while. Then he gets in his supply truck and like escapes and drives and like drops off all the supplies. And now we're at the wrap up scene essentially,
right, where Dave Foley's like, I think he's legit, and she's like, oh my god, and then she goes to him,
and this all takes place in like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like all the stuff that I
totally agree. That's what I said. I was like, I know we've like talked about a lot of side things, but really wrapping up this movie is like this. Yeah, you're totally right. Like they've loaded up the entire shelter with supplies. The now Reverend, the soda jerk, is in charge of this somehow. He's basically formed a cult. Basically, they think Brendon Fraser's run away. They find him in minutes. Then Alicia Silverstone goes down, meets the family. He's like, you've got to trust me. Just stay down here for 2 more months. The parents are like, absolutely, I'll blindly trust you because we're family, which is kind of endearing. I'm shortchanging it a little bit, but like that's what happens. And then Alicia Silverstone kind of adds a narration, like, you know, this guy had a lot of money. He rebuilt a house. He moved the family out. They break it to the family that there was no bomb fallout. Everyone peacefully agreed. The Cold War
By the way,
was
like
over.
my favorite Christopher Walken scene is at this point when they tell Christopher Walken, by the way, hey, there was no, like, this was just a plane. It was an accident. Like that scene where they're sitting at that table outdoors and he like touches Brendon Fraser's like shin underneath the table. That whole scene, and then he gives like a Christopher Walken speech. Like that's my favorite part of the movie because they let Christopher Walken do what he does like best, which is like these like crazy monologues. And I wish that it was longer. It wasn't long enough, but I like this scene that you're talking about right here.
Yeah. And it's like, they were geniuses. Like, oh my God, those commies, they probably asked for aid. They kind of did ask for aid. Geniuses. Yeah, so he's like kind of like politically breaking it down. And Alicia Silverstone is like, you know, the family was happy. And there's illusions that, you know, Alicia Silverstone, Eve, winds up with Adam. And everyone lives happily ever after.
Well, there's the wedding ring. That kind of made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that too. I forgot about that. That's true. That was like an afterthought.
Yeah. It
happens really quickly.
A lot of afterthoughts in this movie.
I like how the very last scene is Christopher Walken like surveying his backyard to see like, okay, this can hold a fucking.
And before we go there, the guy who was a soda jerk, he gets in on a deal to make his plot of land and this like bomb shelter a happening nightclub, and he's like, oh my God, people are gonna love it. So he profits well. So we saw that guy's entire journey. I love that side journey. It's one of the things that makes the film for me like a little more unique. Like even though it's not integral, it's kind of fun. But yeah, before we give you the final breakdown of our Guy-entine's Day, Guy-entine Day, as always, feel free to reach out to us at rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com. If there's a movie you're interested in,
show us your guy taint.
Don't do that. We have filters every which way. We have AI filters guarding us like demons.
Try to get past our AI filters.
Don't do that. There are no dares.
You'll never get past Mike.
We call our AI Willie.
All dares are re-forwarded to Jeremy and Collin. So with that, feel free to reach out to us, rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com. We're also at rabbittroopsucks.com, the webpage, and we have links, and there is merchandise, and there's various other things. Feel free just to reach out to us that way as well. We're on where all podcasts play, so if there's any kind of platform that you are listening to us or want to hop over to, if it's YouTube, if it is Spotify, if it is the podcast app on my iPhone, wherever it is podcasting, we are there. And we're also on Instagram and Facebook. And as always, so many of you reach out to us and just tell us how much, you know, some of these movies mean to you, or that you've worked on them, or that you remember them, or that you have excerpts of books and pictures. Like, we appreciate all of this, and we just really appreciate, honestly, we're an ad-free podcast. We're doing this for funsies. We're a group of friends. And for anyone who's just like, wow, this is kind of like touched me in a way, like, we love talking about films, and it's just awesome to do it. And just thanks. Just thanks for listening, and thanks for like just saying something, because that's really cool.
You guys all touched me in a way.
And you've touched Jeremy. You touched him in the mall.
Right on that one.
Right in the Cinnabon.
Right in the Guy-entine.
Jeremy, what did you think of Blast from the Past for Guy-entine's Day?
So this movie was fine. It was fine. It was entertaining. I wish it was like a little bit shorter. Again, there was like Paul. I agree with you. The soda jerk guy. Like, why didn't they? If you're gonna make a movie this long, expand on that guy.
I love that. Guy.
He was. I think he was a funny character for the very few lines that he had in the movie. Get rid of Alicia Silverstone. Expand more. Let Christopher Walken kind of do his thing. Brendon Fraser, just do the same thing because you did fine. Like you did what you were supposed to do for this movie. So those are my really only critiques, I guess. I don't hate this movie, but it was fine. I didn't like dislike it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Collin, what are you thinking?
Do you think it'd be better if they just cut out Alicia Silverstone and made Brendon Fraser meet Dave Foley, and it's just a buddy comedy?
They're just like, dude. They're just hanging out as bros. Like, hey, man.
It's like, hey, let's go pick up women. He's like, oh, I'm gay. It's like, yeah, I like how you're always happy. That sort of
there
thing.
you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's a good movie. Like, I liked, kind of watching with us and watching with it. I don't really think that they needed to expand on the soda jerk guy that much. I thought it was perfectly the way it was, where it's just, you see him as a kid, you see him as an adult, you see him get the club and fall from grace. You see him become a fucking, it's fine. Everyone's faces in this movie moved really oddly for me, I think. Maybe it was mostly Alicia Silverstone and Brendon Fraser. They have really accentuated jaw movements, and it was kind of weird for me. That's like the main critique for me. Is like, man, I don't want to like look at these people's faces.
a lot of face talk.
But yeah, no, it was kind of how I am. I didn't really remember that much from it. It was probably like when it came out, so I was probably like 13 when I saw it, so I didn't remember anything. So it was practically a whole new movie, and it was fine.
There you go.
Lamar, this is your first time. What did you think about it?
Like Jeremy and Collin, this movie was fine for me. I didn't think it was the greatest thing. I can't hate this movie. How can I say that? I can't say that this movie was terrible or bad. I like the kind of concept of it. It's kind of weird, and I understand what they're going for, but I kept writing down during this movie odd conversation. These people seem so unnatural. Alicia Silverstone is too spazzy in this movie. I don't know if that registers with anyone, but just the way she acts, they just didn't connect. It just seemed like two weird people, and I get that for a movie. This one didn't click for me. The concept of the movie's all right. Everything else is okay. Christopher Walken obviously is fantastic. I like Sissy Spacek. I like like you said, the first 15, 20 minutes of this movie, maybe the first even 30 minutes right before Brendon goes up. All awesome. The vibe of the movie changes when they first meet, and that just kind of killed it for me.
Yeah, so I was actually, and I don't want to interject too much on Lamar's like critique of this. I said before, because I knew Lamar specifically had not seen this film, I was like, I'm kind of excited for you to see this. Lamar, I'm going to say this in a more specific question for you, just like as I've watched so many films with you over the years. I love everything to do with Christopher Walken, Sissy Spacek, and the bomb shelter. How about this? Outside, like in just that context, do you like all that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah. I feel like, honestly, like justified with like you watching the film just for that. I love those scenes, and I just like kind of knew Lamar would be like, those are my favorite scenes.
And if they kept kind of, I don't know how you would keep a vibe like that through a rom-com, but it just like the feeling was lost on me. And Jeremy, I think you said earlier, you don't dig rom-coms. I'm the same way, but there are some that I liked. I actually liked She's All That when we reviewed it.
Yeah,
what was it, a year
fun.
ago? That was fun. I kind of wanted that with this movie, but I didn't get it. It's okay.
Oh man, she was not all that.
In this movie, she was not all that.
Well, I think we could all agree.
What about not another teen movie?
Not another
That's
teen
my
movie
jam.
is peak
Yes,
movie
very good.
in all categories.
Mike loves it. Mike,
I do love it.
Mike, what did you think? Blast from the past.
Yeah, I'm going to be kind of contrary to what your guys' opinion is in that I thought all the bomb shelter scenes were super boring.
Oh.
I agree with Collin that if this was like a fish out of water buddy comedy with Dave Foley, it would have been way better. Everything else was fine. I mean, Dave Foley is my favorite part of this movie by far. Brendon Fraser is great, and he plays the role he needs to. I think my biggest problem with this movie is there was no like conflict. It was just like a story that unfolded. Every time they tried to introduce like some kind of tension, it either felt like an afterthought or it resolved immediately.
All the conflict was hers.
Right,
It was
like-
just
Yeah,
her
like
issue.
Alicia Silverstone resolved her conflict in, like I said, over a 5-minute period of this movie.
A
And then it was just
conversation.
like,
Yeah.
okay, here we go.
Well, like, oh, is Nathan Fillion going to be a problem? No, he gets punched in the face and he leaves.
I do like those scenes though.
Yeah, no, I mean the scenes were good, but like, and again with the the social workers or whatever, like, oh, like, is this the tension? No, he just runs away. That guy falls down, which was great, and then it's like, we're just back on track. It never felt like there was no possibility of something going wrong, which I feel like you need to have that needs to be there for a movie to feel like complete. But it's fun. I don't dislike this movie. I enjoy it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the conflict that they're trying to like interject. So like my view on this film is that Alicia Silverstone is jaded because of like past boyfriends. But I feel like Brendon Fraser absolutely deserves better. Like this isn't like the girl that's like worthy of your time. Like
It's literally the first person. he
yeah,
saw.
it's just like she kind of sucks, and it's like she made poor decisions. And cool, you date jerks and weirdos, and like I could win you over. I'm like, not so much, and that's maybe my jaded like adult attitude. Like I don't know, like I'm not saying like no one's worth like anyone's time. I'm just like this specific person. I'm like, you kind of suck. Cool, thanks for helping me out. And I would have paid you for the things I said, but like the romantic side, I'm like, I'm not seeing it. Part of
There's
it's
no
Alicia
romance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, part of it's Alicia Silverstone, like as an actress, like, and I'm directly giving that direct dig. And that's unfortunate. Like, I don't want to say that, but I'm like, that's true. And the other thing is like the written character itself, I'm like, you're just not worth this person's time. You're like, it's not like I fell in love and my heart was broken. I'm a guy I can maybe help you. Like, just because I'm a nice guy and like maybe we could learn from each other. It's like, you just kind of are a shit person to begin with. Screw you, Eve.
To kind of summarize that, it's like she kept telling him no. She didn't really want to get involved with him. She found out he was extremely wealthy, and then they got married.
Yeah.
Well, to her point, she fell for him before she found out he was wealthy.
Yeah, that's
This
true.
time, anyway.
She did make that point.
Yeah.
Just to clear things up.
Neat.
You guys keep keep saying the word jaded, Paul. Are you saying that Raw Force is a better Valentine's Day movie than
Raw Force is a
Blast
better
from the
movie. Full
Past?
stop.
J-Trade. Hashtag J-Trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do like that Dave Foley seems to benefit at the end. That clearly it is noted that with these stocks, the bonds, all these things, he has millions upon millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So this guy's like a billionaire to some
He
extent.
might be a chameleonaire.
Yeah, he might be. He might be.
They see
What
him
is
rolling.
that?
And
That's the millionaire.
You don't fuck with chameleonaires.
You got millionaire.
And with this, Dave Foley seems to like benefit, and that does please me. I overall really do like this film. I agree with everything you guys are saying. This movie could be cut down in areas. Brendon Fraser does a great job, and it's not like award-winning, but he does exactly as everyone noted, exactly how he should be. But he's not the driving force, and I do love Christopher Walken. I know that's debatable amongst this group of this character of Christopher Walken. Everyone seems to love Dave Foley, so he's like the real winner. Alicia Silverstone seems to be like, eh.
What if Jennifer Connelly had played that character?
I know everyone's like gaga over Jennifer Connelly.
I sure am.
I don't know if I would see her like in
yeah.
this more
I
like
like her.
a comedic bit, but maybe. I mean, I would say this. I couldn't imagine anyone almost doing worse than
Yeah.
Alicia Silverstone. Like, I really feel this is the drag of the movie.
I'm picturing like a career opportunities Jennifer Connelly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I
Visually.
routinely do that.
Visually,
but I mean,
Just
like,
her riding that fucking
riding the
pony.
hobby horse,
Oh,
yeah. But no, just like kind of like a weird person.
Yeah,
coming
just
around.
anyone. Yeah.
Anyone else, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I really feel that that's really the unfortunate part of this, but
Well, she was of the time.
I guess even of the time, this wasn't like a big pull. And I feel this is like, I think people saw that too, as like Clueless and maybe a little more, and then this was it.
Who knows?
But I had fun. Like as a rom-com, I normally am not like throwing them out there. I think this is a fun one. And I think although there are points that drag, it has its merits, and there's definitely some selling points. Even like as a group, like we disagreed, like in a good way. Like Mike didn't like the Fallout scenes or the bomb shelter, and some of us did. But that kind of sells it back and forth to some of us. There's a little something for everyone. This movie's not super long, but totally worth watching. Again, you see Brendon Fraser right before The Mummy. But yeah. Next week, we're getting our 1985 episode. We're seeing a movie that no one has seen.
Not just in this room, but in the world.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Harvey Keitel is in it.
God.
He probably hasn't seen it. We're going to be watching 1985 Star Night. That's with a K. K-N-I-G-H-T.
That's very important.
Yeah. Dragons, spaceships. Just look up the premise. We haven't seen it.
I can't tell you how excited I am for this.
I'm excited, scared. But there's definitely going to be some things to talk about. Before we depart all of you, anyone have any final thoughts about Blast from the Past, Guy-entine's Day?
No.
It's more like a blast in the ass.
I'm surprised it took this long for someone to make that joke.
I was like, yeah, I know. You know, it's the icing on the cake at the end.
It was
The icing
Is that a
comes from the
euphemism?
blast?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
They call that a back shot, guys.
Oh. I'm not looking that up.
No.
Dickpony.com.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Well, as always, Rabbit Troop sucks.
I'm not gonna say
Dick
that.
pony.
The quote was too dirty for you this time?
The oh my lucky stars when he met the male woman. Yeah, I'm not saying that.
Oh, yeah, don't do that.
No,
Thank you.
no.
Jesus.
Rabbit Troop sucks.